Greetings, I'm Liz.
And I'm Scandal.
And let's play a game together. So we are back to Yaoi Beast Boys again, and it has been a challenging trip so far.
Frustrating.
Perhaps frustrating, irritating. We are not given the choices we would like to choice. So anyway, we're just going to dig on into this.
And see what happens. So we're going to continue.
We're going to continue forward.
And we have to download stuff already.
You know what everything is downloading?
Well, zip my butt cheeks and call me an angel. I just don't know what to do with my life anymore.
Is that how angels work?
Honestly, I don't know. Actually...
I want to pull up like a ringtone and play it, but I'm not prepared. I put my other devices away when we're doing this.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
On the way back from Alex's house, I call Ian. For reasons, because I like abusers.
No, Ian's the nice one. Alex is it? No, do I have him backwards? I remember. I don't remember.
Shoot. I don't know because I don't care.
Because I don't care enough. All we remember is Jackson is a disaster.
Pretty much. It's not going through.
We need it to go through. This is our whole investment. Quick! It must go through.
I have to do it. I sense that no matter how many times the phone rings, he isn't going to pick up. He might also be asleep. He might be out. C, might be getting food. Might actually have someone else there. Could
be in the shower. Could be not by his phone.
Could be on the toilet.
Oh dear. Could have put his phone on silent. We know. He's angry at you and this is angsty, but it's fine.
I don't really care. I don't feel it.
I think this is his friend.
I give up and hang up the phone. Because I easily stop trying to help my friends and being engaged with my friends because... friends, you know?
I think we're headed to his house we're trying to call him. I think that's what this is. But I just imagine, I hang up, I'm just imagining him with a crabby flip-float. Pep! Puts it in pocket grumpily.
Me. Is he busy? Well, nothing I can do right now. I guess I'll just have to explain the situation with Alex another time.
Yeah, Alex is our good friend. He's our nice friend. He is the cat. Ting! I'm a kitty cat! And a dance, cat! Ting! All right, fine.
Wait, are we talking about Ian as the cat, or are we talking about Alex as the cat? Because Alex is a bunny.
It's Alex is a bunny, but your friend Ian is a cat.
Okay, I didn't know this.
So it's like your friend. Oh,
he's a cat.
We haven't talked to him for a couple of days? Oh, dear.
You didn't even leave him a voicemail, by the way?
Did it kick you out? His voicemail was full. You're just listening, ringing every time. The voicemail box is full. A few days later.
I've tried to contact him over and over since then. Damn it, Ian, why aren't you picking up?
Damn it, Jackson, why aren't you going over?
At this rate, we'll be stuck with this misunderstanding forever. You know,
because he doesn't have email.
People.
Because he doesn't have email, or text messages, or snail mail, or any other way to contact him.
I can't walk over to his house and leave him a letter underneath the fucking door.
He also doesn't have a physical door that I can shove a letter under. Apparently, only myself and Alex have apartments, because we've never been to Ian's place.
Pretty much. But it's not like he caught me cheating or anything, so why am I so worried about this?
Because you hurt your friend, that's why. Why would this even be about cheating at all?
I ponder while I listen to the ringtone.
What ringtone?
You were really not thinking he was going to start talking.
He answered, okay. What is it?
He picked up. Ian, listen.
Explain the deal with Alex.
Explain the deal with Alex!
Oh my god.
How are you?
So I know we haven't talked for days and we left on a really awkward note and I haven't done much to try and fix it, but how are you doing?
Douche. Moo. Look, about that guy I was kissing in the alley, I wanted to clear all of that up.
Clear it up? You just attacked him while you were transformed, right? What is there to clear up?
Alex is the one who infected me with the virus.
He did?
Yeah, he did. So I wasn't attacking him indiscriminately. He was just giving me an emergency treatment.
Still in this game, I'm just like, they never say kissing, making out with, being sexy, or anything, or just like, I sexually assaulted. They're going, I attacked. All sex is attack. All kissing is attack. Like, that's the only word they have this entire game.
If you haven't noticed, there's an interesting line of basically, we can't cross over into this sort of other thing, because then that would be relationship talk, or basically like this weird, so it's like a weird othering of this kind of language so that it doesn't have the same impact or whatever else. Like if you were to call that, he literally assaulted me when I told him to stop, like that goes immediately from he gave me an emergency treatment, which is accurate, to he assaulted me and persisted.
Well, and going, it was just someone you randomly attacked. You mean someone I sexually assaulted? What? You can't put that in a yaoi game. It's not sexy. Boys' love isn't sexy with sexual assault. You know what? Maybe it's not.
It also might be the fact, too, that if you do have that in there, then have it listed as one of those games. Oh my god, you guys act like that this actually isn't a massive trope in romance, period. Like, people love going, oh, yaoi's all about this, and I'm like, it's so common in romance, even in the United States, in, like, the romance little novellas and everything else. It's really common.
Consent is a foreign concept.
Okay.
Damn it.
You twit!
Sorry.
You were like, it's your line, and I'm like, I believed you, and you betrayed me.
I did. I betrayed you.
You betrayed me.
Okay. Is it the only reason you called me?
Well, sort of, but I was also wondering if we could go out to eat somewhere since I haven't seen you much recently.
We just hang out and be our friends? Sorry, I'm still busy with work today. I don't think I can.
Okay. Look, don't worry about it. You can just catch up with me next time we get together for your treatment.
Yeah. See you later then.
See you later. I'm trying to be positive. Is it working? Beep, beep.
And like I went to beep sound.
We won't see each other until his next treatment. Wait, why am I sad about that? What am I, a kid? No, you might just have unrequited feelings for your friend at this point. But also, like, if we really do go with the idea that there's literally nobody else in this entire world and you're trying to cope with basically an extremely pushy,
So in case you didn't hear,
Predator?
we have headcanoned that there's only 3 people in the entire world.
Yep.
Because there is no one else. So like the jobs are made up. Everyone's suffering from a pretty deep psychosis of
Or delusion.
the world is going on as
Delusional
normal.
fantasy.
But there's only 3 people in it because there's literally only 3 people in this game.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I just be like, okay, so basically what we're gonna be doing is we're really just
However,
under stress and going.
it is perfectly reasonable without him having unrecognized feelings or having any romantic or sexual tension with his friend for him to go, that is my friend, I would like to see them, and I miss them. And he could be confused about it only because Alex has been so pushy and because he's feeling guilty or uncomfortable about Ian's feelings.
He could also feel just unsafe and going, I feel guilty or bad or weird because Ian won't see me, because also I feel unsafe. I want to go to my safe place, which is with my friends or like your family.
Something familiar.
That's actually a pretty normal reaction. Yes, I'll take a bath and go to bed. And talk out loud to myself about it.
And maybe wash your clothes and wear something different. Poof? Suddenly poof. Hang on.
What?
How did this happen?
I don't know.
How is he suddenly in my apartment? So, it seems like lately you've been able to keep a grip on your senses when you transform.
Yeah, thanks to the medicine. I don't think there's any more danger that I'll randomly attack someone.
As long as you keep up with your treatments.
Don't smirk like that. I know very well.
He looks so grumpy. Grrr. Love how his little ears move
As like
slowly
also
as he rocks
doing
back
treatments, usually people then go, okay, now we're going to start experimenting with what will not just treat the symptoms, but will actually treat the cause. So if anybody doesn't actually know, most medication actually is to treat symptoms, not to actually treat the malaise, the disease, whatever it might be, itself.
Yes, it's true. And in this case, Alex had said he was only treating the symptoms and that he hadn't yet developed a cure, only basically a control. And supposedly he's still working on it in his lab somewhere. Supposed.
I'm also just like, Jackson, I cannot, like, I know the thing is they're trying to play the trope of him going, well, he doesn't know what he actually wants kind of thing, but I'm kind of disgusted because I feel like if a character says no, and especially where we've made choices to go, no, buzz off. This feels with this writing of, I have to keep going with this treatment, however much I hate it, is like, this is still reaffirming, and then they'll completely backwash all of that out with the baby in the bathwater and go, you were kidding, right?
They're going to undermine everything. I told him no aggressively, and I'm going, wait, now I'll go home with him.
What? Why?
Anyway.
You don't need anything. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Ian at all since then. I hope he's okay.
Hey, why do you look so anxious?
Oh, it's just, Ian hasn't come over for treatment lately, so I was wondering how things are going with his symptoms.
Oh, I took over it. Let's see. Ian. Oh, that guy you said you infected. Well, if he hasn't told you anything, that must mean he's okay, right?
I guess so. Still, something is worrying me. I'm also just like, hey, hold on. Why do you look so sour all of a sudden? Okay, so the one thing, I imagine Alex is interfering, because this is where my brain was kind of... One of the things that also bothers me is that Jackson is ridiculously open with this guy.
Yeah, he really is. Like,
is.
He overshares for someone who's relatively guarded with him and who's very resistant to him. And it seems like none of our choices are affecting how we interact with Alex at all. However, I was expecting Alex to get all snarky and be like, oh, I've started treating him since you didn't want to.
Yeah, I was kind of
Like,
almost
that's what I was
expecting like he's
expecting.
actually trying to also push him off. So I don't know.
Nothing. I was just wondering whether you would ever worry about me that way.
What? That's all?
I
have
no reason to worry.
I don't care. Like, we've said no, we've said no, we've said no.
You're baiting us. You're inappropriate with us. You never have done a nice thing for us.
Oh, and you're gonna
ever.
bend it like this? I don't have any reason to worry about you. We meet regularly, so I know you're doing fine. Honestly, you could put it that way. I know you meet regularly, so I know you're doing fine.
You're doing fine. I love how you try and, like, imagine the intonation of this, and then you get to the next part of the sentence and you go, I was in another ballpark than you were.
Entirely.
I was in another continent than you.
Wow! What Antarctica did you come from?
Oh, look, that's completely different than I expected. Wow!
And now he's mad.
That's not what I meant.
Seriously, why are you so angry? Did something happen at work? If there's anything you want to talk to me about...
You should know by now that all I want to talk to you about is me boning you, and then I'm trying to play like I don't like you, but I'm in charge, and it's just casual, but I'm actually super into you, and why don't you get it? Because you're not talking about it and you're being a jerk?
No shit.
No, never mind. Let's just get started with your treatment. I know the medicine is working, but I still can't feel... It still can't feel great. I mean, you always have your tail up in alarm, so...
You're right, but... Are you okay?
No,
like, honestly, I was
to cry.
No. Me being mean to you hasn't worked. Why?
Me being pushy and mean and demanding and ignoring your requests? None of that's worked. Why not? Aren't I adorable? Look at how small I am and what a baby face I have. What do you care? I'm not transformed and I'm perfectly healthy, as you kindly pointed out.
Score! That's not what I mean. I don't know how else to put this, but something's weird about you right now, and it's always been weird about you, so why I'm asking is beyond me, but fine, sure.
He really does look like he's about to cry. Shut up! Whose fault do you think that is? Raising his voice.
Alex grips my shoulders and kisses me. Love me, please! Physical affection and invasion is the only thing honestly, it really does sound like his previous person that infected him really was like again, this weird undertone of like creepy serial gay abuser. Like, and just kind of used him.
Or it doesn't even have to be gay. They could just be a sexual abuser, because that doesn't necessarily determine your orientation at all.
That's actually a very good point. Actually, a lot of cases, people mention rape isn't necessarily, an indicator of sexuality at all. It's about power.
Yeah, rape and sexual assault are not about sex. They're about power.
And so maybe Alex has just been really abused a lot, but I'm also like...
It doesn't justify his behavior nonetheless, but it could
offer some explanation.
So you can explain behavior without justifying behavior. Someone can have a bullying situation like at school, and you can go, the reason that happened is because their home life sucks. That's a reason, not a justification.
Right.
And then after that, now that they've recognized I'm behaving inappropriately or unacceptably, even if it's an outlet for my home life sucking, I could try and find a healthy outlet or get away from that suck and then try to make amends or at least stop doing what I've been doing.
Right? Or I don't know, go get other help.
I do like to laugh at this, though, every single time about, he just grabs me and kisses me and the entire room shakes.
Explodes.
Like the whole world has an earthquake every time someone kisses. I will kiss you. The world shakes. Like if the whole world shook, I'd be like, whoa.
Honestly, though, that's one of the things that I think feels like it feeds very well into our headcanon that this is basically a very strong mass delusion, because it's making the world sort of shake, and I want to see around the corners like reality starting to sort of like creep in.
That would be great.
That would be great.
I still want to laugh at these curtains. So those in the background are Venetian blinds. And Venetian blinds have like a counterweight system when you pull them. And so if those ones don't have like a lift from the bottom, but they actually have a pull string, they're so big that they would disassemble themselves. Like the weighted system only works to a point. And it kind of just makes me laugh.
Hey, what's gotten into you?
What are you talking about? You came here to get treated. Or have you come this far just to keep refusing? When has he ever refused treatment?
No, I haven't. What about you? You've looked cranky this whole time.
If you just shut up and accept your treatment. It would improve my mood.
Just accept the way that I assault you, and it'll be fine.
You know what? Just let me shove my tongue in your face and have poor doctor-patient practices longer.
I'm still waiting for the day that we get cotton swabs and we shove them up each other's noses and do it that way, because saliva's not the only way you actually get.
Nope, it's only saliva. He said so, and he's the doctor.
Oh no,
We've tried
every fluid.
We've tried all the fluids.
If you want to be weird,
God.
we've tried every fluid. It's only saliva.
Only saliva, which would be weird as hell, but that's fine.
No kidding.
Don't resist, but we don't like him. Okay, it suggests that we're not resisting treatment at this point, except for that he's never been giving us just treatment. What he's doing is trying to barrel down our resistance, and he's just pushing the issue until which point as we go, well, it might be easier to not resist. It might be simpler to just give in. And that is a very harmful ideal that actually goes in with like predatory dating practices for like men who are, what is the thing? Like, they're not... Pickup artists.
Pickup artists,
So,
yeah.
like, pickup artists will use I continually push your boundaries until you stop resisting because it's less energy to resist than it is to continue fighting.
It is also that thing, though, too, where you basically punish people because, well, I got this far this time, why won't you let me back there and then go farther? It's actually a way of basically breaking people's boundaries down, and you go, well, you gave me this much before, why can't we even do just that? And they go, well, you're right, so I guess we could do that. Like, this is very much, again, I understand this is a game and this is fantasy, but these things are so much fun to talk about in a fantastical setting, because I would never want this to actually happen to someone. Like, damn, this would be terrible.
And the thing is if we give in at this point and buy the premium option, then what we're doing is basically going, you've assaulted me so many times that we're just stopping resisting.
Right.
It doesn't indicate that we want it in any way. And our previous dialogue, if Jackson is a character rather than just a component of a game, means that he does not want it, because that's the choices we've made for who he is.
Yep, pretty much.
So we're going to reject him.
Because screw you.
And he can cry about it if he wants.
I shove Alex away as hard as I can.
He falls into the coffee table. He trips over the couch. He runs into the Venetian blinds. He falls out the window behind them.
We go back to your dystopian rape fiction.
Ow. What the hell?
Hey, we went back to normal.
Uh-huh.
That's what you get. My transformation has worn off, so I'm gonna leave. Why do we care about his feelings? Alex?
Right. Yeah, I heard you. You're leaving, right? Take care and all that.
Yeah. I can't play
That's fine.
this
You
because
don't
they're
have to
really
match it
the
that
game
pace.
is really freaking trying very hard though, especially even with the language. Like I get that you're supposed to feel bad. They're trying to write this of going, no, Jackson really does want him, and this would be interesting or hot or whatever the heck. I'm like, no.
Or they're doing the Jackson is still a sensitive person and he keeps being absolutely oblivious to the point of a potato with no eyes. Stuff going,
So he's basically
wait,
starving.
When you're sad, it's got to be something completely unrelated to all the shit we keep talking about and doing. Why are you sad? It's about the sex. Oh, I hate talking about the sex. You back off. I am sad. Why are you sad? Oh, it's about the sex. Well, fuck you.
What? It was about the
no,
sex?
but
I had no idea.
And every time Alex makes sad face and Jackson goes, oh my God, are you okay? And Alex goes, sex? And Jackson goes, no. And then he makes a sad face again and
And
Alex
then
goes,
it repeats.
are you? And it just is an endless loop.
But it's also the fact, too, that it might just be that Jackson is actually trying to be nice. Like, he's like, I don't want this. He's like, how more polite can I be? Will you stop? I'm going to shove you off me. I'm going to push you off me. And then you
That's how
actually
you
get
know.
sad. And then it's like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Are you okay?
And that's actually a really positive way to spin it. I actually agree with Scandal here of going, Jackson is going, yes, I'm trying to make my boundaries really clear and go, look, we're not making out here. I don't want to be confusing about this. I'm not interested in you. We're not going to be involved. But I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to have a professional relationship with you.
But the fact that this keeps persisting, this has obviously gone beyond what would be a normal, normal doctor-patient relationship, period. This is, like, that's as far as I could very vaguely spin it, and that's...
At this point, if also Jackson had any more communication skills, he should just be talking about it at greater length, going, hi, we keep hitting the same impasse again and again. What's going on? And if you sit down with Alex and be like, hey, every time we do this treatment, you have this massive response to me and you go really hard into we should be involved, you should give into your urges, we should just bone. And I keep telling you no every single time, but then you always seem hurt about it. We gotta find a better way to address this.
Yeah, because this is going nowhere.
That would be an appropriate response at this point.
Yeah. What the hell is going on? I leave Alex's house, perplexed by how differently he was acting from usual. No, actually, he keeps doing this. Jackson, this is not new.
Pretty normal, honestly.
This is an average day with Alex.
An average Alex.
An average Alex, eh? A few days later.
Na-na-na-na. Oh, look, a new scene.
I haven't heard anything from Ian recently, and he hasn't come to see me either. What's going on with him? I came all the way to his place because I was worried, but surely he's okay? I nervously pressed the intercom button.
In America, we don't have a lot of intercoms.
We
Ding
really
dong.
don't.
It did have a cute little ding dong sound. It was so quiet and tinkly that I doubt it was picked up at all.
But that's very cute.
But it did have the sound effect, and that was cute.
Is he not here?
No, what he's doing is looking through the people. Actually, he just opened the door into your face. Bah!
I mean, that might have just happened.
Clunk.
And the screen shook. Did I just hear something? Hey, Ian, it's me. If you're around, let me in, will you?
It's okay, he's just transforming on the floor.
It's fine. Ian, I know you're in there. I'm worried. Can you at least just show me your face?
I'll show you my ears, sadly.
Do we actually,
Ka-chunk.
chunk, door gets forced open?
Do we kick the door in? We kick the door. We're just like our Arcana Let's Play, and we just kick the damn door down to get in every time. Door on the floor, I have entered.
Ah, it's me!
You just stand the door up again, it's fine.
I tip you. Thank God you're okay. Ian!
Jackson, help me. I am at my limit.
Oh, what happened to you?
I mean, you look pretty well put together to me.
He looks way too pale, even for being transformed. Don't tell me. Are your symptoms getting worse because we haven't been doing your treatments lately? I can't see why you'd be in this bad of a state otherwise.
I never thought I would be in so much pain just from not taking the medicine.
We can talk later about why you quit taking the medicine. First, I'm coming in.
Excellent. Into the house we go. Hey, look, he does have an actual house.
Hey, cool!
And art on the wall,
Where's
too.
the medicine? I flushed it down the toilet like an idiot. Ian?
I still love this implication that they're just standing next to each other, talking to us. But like talking to each other, but looking at us.
Hello.
Hello.
Ian averts his eyes, as though he doesn't want to tell me where the medicine is stashed. What the hell is going on here? If I don't at least get him to take some of the medicine... I walk all through the apartment until I find the medicine sitting on top of a cabinet.
It wasn't even hidden.
Right? Here it is. Take it.
Gently shoves it in front of my friend. For your own good. Take this. Here's hot cocoa. Take it with this.
Eat it.
Here's a blanket. Pap, you look pale. I brought cotton swabs so we don't confuse each other. Wait, I forgot the cotton swabs. Look, I'll spit into a glass. It's fine.
It's fine. Here, let me drink some. Let me have some of the...
I licked the cup really well. Here, drink from this. I don't want the medicine.
What are you saying? You were the one who told me to help you because you were in pain, right? We can't just leave things like this, so take it already.
I don't want you treating me.
Ian looks like he's about to collapse. I immediately support him. I understand not wanting to do it. Believe me, but I can't leave you alone when you're suffering like this. If you have any complaints to make, you can make them later. I put the medicine into my mouth in classic fashion, together with some water from a cup, and kiss Ian, pouring it into his mouth.
I feed him like a baby bird. Sorry.
Oh God, Julian has crawled into the play.
Just pretend it's soup. Anyway,
I mean, honestly, actually, that is actually a technique some people have talked about, of going, if someone is too weak to do so, that is a way to help them.
So actually, before there was a lot of medical technology, this actually goes way back into the day. You really do. Like the way you made baby food and the way you treated patients that were unable to treat themselves is you could use your face to help them. So like baby food was made by chewing up the food first and then putting it in their mouths, because that was the only way to process it to be soft, unless you had like
a mortar and
grinding
pestle,
tools.
maybe.
Exactly. But that was the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
I say, and then for the case of this kind of thing, if you need a bit of pressure to help someone swallow, when you don't have medical devices to create that back pressure, you can use your mouth and gently force it down their throat.
Pretty much. Not yet. I have to make sure he swallows it. So what you do is, like a fox, you put his head up and you go, no.
Like a bird, you just point his head at the sky and down it goes.
There, you've swallowed it. I'm going to give you your treatment now. You may not like it, but I need you to swallow my saliva.
I just looked so like, whoa, a second ago, and now I'm like, hey, stop. Back off, Jackson.
Quit fighting it. This is for your sake.
However, you gotta listen to
now,
our consent
now are they
too.
gonna pull something stupid moralizing of we're now becoming Alex?
Yeah, say now
Except
we're turning
I'm like,
into Alex.
we're
We're not trying to sexually coerce him. We're just trying to apply the only thing we know about this treatment.
which sucks, and we have possibly faulty information from some jackass who literally doesn't care about figuring anything else out. But,
and there have been issues in the medical field forever about treatment and consent versus I drugged you without your consent, even if it was to save your life, in the same way that they have like non-resuscitation clauses and things like that
I know.
If I said don't bring me back to life, it doesn't matter if I could have lived another 30 years when you resuscitated me, you didn't respect my wishes.
Yeah.
So this is a complicated moral situation right here, but I genuinely believe he's trying to help his friend, not assault him.
Yeah, no, I agree that too. I embrace Ian tightly and kiss him once more.
That should be enough. Now please, let go of me. Let go, because we're not going to hurt our friend?
What the crap?
I'm not even going to talk about that choice. Premium choice is actually assault your friend and disregard their boundaries. You're kidding. Why can't the premium choices be something fun, cute, or interesting? That way it's worth the money, rather than just assault your friend. Especially your friend that's already having complicated feelings about you that you've already said you're not in the same place as.
I don't understand this.
That doesn't make any sense.
Really? I get the feeling that it isn't yet.
I think with just a little more time, the transformation will wear off, so please, leave for today.
You still don't look well. Are you sure you're okay?
Can I make you some soup?
I make soup.
Can I buy you some ramen?
Can I be your house friend for a little bit?
Let me be your domestic companion for a few minutes, and I'm gonna clean it up in here. You look like a mess, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm okay. So...
I get it. If anything comes up, call me right away.
I will. The romantic music. No. This is not a romantic scene, my dear.
It seemed like Ian was looking unsettled too, but maybe that was just an effect of the transformation? I better make him take his treatments properly from now on, or there'll be real trouble.
Okay, you don't have to parent your friend, even if he is being self-destructive, just so you know. Again, though, supporting the idea that there only are 3 people in this entire world, because, like, his parents could help him, his other friends could help him, it's possible that additional medical staff could help him. That's the disease is not a secret. Like, this is so much isolationist, it's ridiculous. Like, Jackson, you're a congenial, naive, friendly person with a strong sense of loyalty. Why don't you have any other friends?
What?
What? Other friends? You're kidding. Well, because they all try and assault me like Alex. I tell them all no, so then I don't have any friends.
Hooray!
How weird.
I am the friendless. My mind made up. I leave Ian's place.
This is where the game
I'm
is
also
freaking out, going, but who do you want? And we're going, we don't know. We're not in a space suggesting that we want either of them.
Uh-huh, pretty much.
Like, you, game, have not led us to wanting either of them effectively. Sorry to call you over so suddenly.
Nah, it's no big deal. But what's the deal?
But what's the deal?
It hasn't been that long since that day, and I'm not seeing any signs of symptoms.
Your hair looks perpetually wet, though. Like, London Edo. I mean, the rain.
What it was is that you turned into a wolf and you just kind of get that cowlick and then you have to sort of smear it back down. It's fine.
But he's a cat.
No, I'm saying us.
Oh,
Clearly
you?
we would lick his
Right.
because slobbering. Blah, blah, blah. Eat my saliva!
I'm so happy to see you. Blah, 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 blah. I could just see Jackson being like, I'm a good dog. Eat my saliva. Blah, 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 blah. I will lick your face.
I'm
sure.
So uncomfortable with that in The Princess and the Frog. It's fine. I know people did it.
It's fine.
It's actually behavior, but
I'm just picturing like Jackson being the really friendly like pug or something and just licking the heck out of Ian's face.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah,
I love
blah.
you. Blah, 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 blah.
And Ian being like, I can't resist this assault of why are you a puppy suddenly? Yes, I had you come over today because there's something I want to tell you.
Something you want to tell me? What is it?
Well, you see how desperately serious I look, how completely straight-laced? I'm in love with you.
Oh?
I know. We've been friends for years, so being told something like this out of the blue probably feels awkward. But I had to tell you. Honestly, this can actually be a good thing. It's important to frame and set it up, but I've had a friend tell me this before, and they're like, hey, I've got really strong feelings for you, and sometimes they peak in the way that things go in natural cycles. And when I'm like that, I might act a little different around you, but it's just important to be like, I know our boundary is friends, so just let me know if I'm ever getting too, like, basically close. Like, it was really kind of cool. I'm like, I have this awesome dude as a friend, and he was really just like, I'm gonna let you know that these are feelings that I have, but I don't require anything from it. Nothing is needed. There's no action to take. You just need to know why I'm acting the way I am. And he's been super cool about it for years. It's been great.
Yeah, you guys have been great friends, actually. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really lovely. So these kind of confessions, can just be a really cool way for you and your friends to know
connect.
where you're at.
Yeah, and be like, hey, I understand that. I appreciate you telling me. That might, then also I'm not saying that it's not like you might not feel awkward, but that's one of those things too of being like, you guys have now this open line of communication of going, hey, I want to be open about you. But that's the thing actually you and I have talked about of being like, if you're really friends with someone, you're usually attracted to them on some level. Like if you're their friend,
there's some sort of deeper connection. You want to hang around them, you like them, so that is a form of attraction. In the same way that I've pointed out that people date their friends. When you meet someone and you want to be their friend, you like want to impress them, you want them to think you're cool, you want to hang out with them. You basically try and set up what are friend dates of going, how can I get to know you better so that you want to be my friend? Which is so I can get you.
One of those things that I've been very critical of in basically what I want to call more or less, I guess, like straight fiction, where they keep just basically being like, this person that I ran into and I have the most heterosexual thing. And I'm like, you sound like you have a crush. Like, unabashedly, you have the biggest long-term running crush for this person of going, pay attention to me! And then, and then I get annoyed, of course, when they're great best friends, and then suddenly a whatever the heck correct gender is then for them apparently to be attracted to make them heterosexual shows up, and then they completely drop that friend, and it makes me angry.
So the trope goes like this. You have a female protag or a male protag. They have a best friend that's been their best friend their entire life that is the same gender as they are, and usually same physical sex.
Yep.
And as soon as they meet someone of the opposite sex, they drop that friend like a rock, and everything gets awkward for no reason.
All right. It really sucks.
But I had to tell you. Yep.
Hello?
I poked it, I swear.
I've been kissing you for the sake of the treatment.
I know that. You didn't... I should just say I know that, because of course he knows that. They've been very clear about that.
We've talked about, what is this? It's fine.
How well do we know each other? Have we been this vague with each other the entire time we've been friends? Because that might be why you're more confused.
At you. Huh?
We just hang around and be vague and pals.
Hey,
McVagan pals?
Vegan pals. Two bros sitting in the hot tub, 5 feet away apart because they're not gay.
So it's not Netflix and chill, it's vegging and bros.
Oh, God.
You didn't feel anything from kissing me? I mean, I felt your mouth on mine. I
can't really say with you putting me on the spot like that. That is actually a good thing to point out, of being like, for me, you're going, I'm performing a function to save your damn life. And now you're going, you weren't having an emotional reaction? No, because this is not the behavior of the kissing.
Additionally, Jackson has been being aggressively assaulted by someone that holds a lot of authority over him. So he is dealing with other emotional and social issues right now. So his highest priority, he's been afflicted with a new disease that he's also dealing with, as well as gained, someone in his life who is assaulting him regularly. That's a lot to process. You're not really thinking about your friend's romantic feelings first, or any new romantic relationship necessarily.
Well, and it's also what you're feeling in that sense, like being Jackson too, is like looking at your friend and also going, God, you must be under a lot of trauma as well. Everybody's stressed out.
Yeah.
Like it's apparently painful to transform, obviously, and then you get unbearably horny, and it's not even fun horny. It sounds like it's the worst kind of horny ever, actually.
Yeah, and the sort of thing is, if you're all going through that suddenly, plus any amount of like shame or self-blame that might be associated with that I contracted this thing, as well as Jackson's, sort of guilt about going, I infected my friend and I'm trying to make up for that transgression.
Right? And going, I'm not even thinking about romance. Yeah, I'm thinking about basically paying penance.
Like his behavior of going, I will force the medicine down your throat and I need to take care of you, is really actually lines up with his previous statement that this is his fault and he needs to make it up as best he can.
Right? I really can't say that with you putting me on the spot like that.
Really? But if you don't feel anything about it, I don't want you to have to treat me anymore. Because I feel things about it. And
Like, you think, huh?
But I'm trying to fix the thing that I broke. Don't you understand, friend? No, we're disconnected on many emotional levels. I have different priorities than you, and both of us aren't understanding each other's challenges right now. Because I am feeling vulnerable with this new thing that I've contracted, and you're the only person that can help me, which creates an even stronger bond with you, which I've already had, and it's just a lot for me to deal with, my friend. That guy, Alex, he can treat me too, right?
How did you know? Wait, we haven't established that at all. I thought Alex said...
Alex said since I was the first holder of the virus, he did say it in one of the episodes, that I could treat anyone that basically moves down the line from me.
Oh, right,
like playing telephone
I
with the same strain of virus.
Right.
It's saliva telephone. Sorry? I mean, it's viral telephone. Except for it doesn't change when it passes. How did he get your number?
That's creepy.
How did he get your number? The same way he stole Jackson's number, I'm sure.
Anyway, keep reading.
He called me and explained a lot of things. So if you don't want this, I'll just go to Alex.
Why would I send you to an abuser? Is there going to be an option to go, tell your friend that Ian is an abuser?
Not Ian, Alex.
No, tell Ian that the other dude is an abuser. Excuse me, Alex is an abuser. Not your friend is an abuser.
Right,
Jesus, excuse me.
It's okay.
Like, damn it. Ian going to Alex's place? I don't want that.
But I'm not going to tell him why.
Well, because they're going to tie it up into something romantic, I'm sure. But I'm just like, no.
Or going,
Alex is clearly abusive. I don't care. I'd be like, dude, the guy has been assaulting me. Again, where you and I have been super irritated going, Jackson is not expressing he's been assaulted.
Yeah.
Alex keeps pushing his boundaries and keeps telling him, no, you need this thing. Why don't you just do this thing? See, this thing is fun. You should like this thing.
Tell him your honest feelings. Okay, I'm just going to challenge the game at this point and going, what does it think our honest feelings are? So at this point, we may be far enough into the story that it won't really let us do things, but since what we've wanted the whole time is more communication, I would tend to say tell him your honest feelings would be appropriate. But the game's going to have to extrapolate from our previous choices, whatever the heck it thinks those are.
Right? If it even does that at all. Some
Or
of
what
this
this
feels
means.
incredibly damn forced, honestly.
It really does. Like, you have chosen this path, therefore it meant you were feeling this thing. So tell him your honest feelings.
Let's try it. I've never thought about you in a romantic way before, but I don't want you to go to Alex.
Could you tell him why?
He's abused me.
Could you
Oh
tell
my
him
God. Blah, blah, blah.
why? Does that mean there's still a little hope for me?
This is all we care about?
I mean, he
Game.
could be feeling, again, just very vulnerable. But again, it can be really important when someone does a big reveal to you, like, hey, I love you, or something like that, that you take time to process it. Your first reaction isn't necessarily going to be your,
Just be
deep
you,
response. Yeah. It isn't necessarily going to be what you would feel or think if you were given time to process it.
That's actually one of the reasons why I hate where people are like, no, I want your first honest reaction. You're like, my first honest reaction is typically like my most wounded animal uncontrollable self. That's actually not okay usually.
That's not actually me, but it's your animal brain, which isn't my higher brain, which is what makes me me.
Which makes
Animals
me a human person.
Have animal brains. What differentiates us, as far as science and religion can tell, from animals is that we do have a higher brain where we can make informed choices despite our baser instincts, not because of them. So if you have a primal reaction to something immediately, but then your brain goes into thinking mode and you go, that's not what I would do.
Right.
That's you. You are the thinking part of yourself.
Yeah. I couldn't say. All I know is I don't want that. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just hold it. One line. You got this.
All I know is I don't want that.
I won't tell you why, but, it's really important that I don't send you to this abuser. You know what? Part of this actually feels a little bit cultural to me, too, because I know that Japanese is a less explicit language. There was actually this really cool book that we read a while ago. I am not going to remember what it was called right now.
What was it about? You have to remind me.
Anyway, what it's about is basically, I think it was called, God, I'm not even remember. Anyway, what it was about is what causes circumstances to become the way they are. And they had an experience where there was lots and lots of plane crashes happening, especially with Japanese pilots.
Right.
And especially Japanese pilots around the world. And they did thoughtful examination, and they found that the Japanese language is so implicit rather than explicit, based on honor and based on decorum, that it couldn't be as direct as was required. One of the worst crashes they had was basically the pilot going, I'm not sure what to do, and the second in command going, I can't tell you what to do because you're the pilot, so I'll say, I understand you don't know what to do. And then when they're talking to the person at the tower is going, hey, what do you guys need? And they're like, well, we're this close to the ground. And they're like, okay, so what do you think? And the thing was, it was all implied in the language based on Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And after this crash happened, they had a bunch of experts get together, and they defined a uniform and universal across actually airports around the world that all of them use. That is the speaking to the tower language, like the radio tower for your landing. And it is an affirmative, straightforward language, and it actually supersedes all barriers between your decorum and deference of your own language and principles.
Like, and the thing is, they went, you need to learn this or you will die, or you will kill people.
And they implemented it in pilot schools all over the world, where they're like, this is the specific language of being a pilot and speaking to the tower. This is the specific tower language. And it was a really cool thing from a whole lot of tragedy. Anyway, so I feel like some of this not saying things is probably based on basically the Japanese origins of language, where he's just trying to imply strongly this thing without saying it. But that might be being generous with this game. I don't know.
Well, and it also could just be an Asian culture thing, too, because we actually don't know if this comes strictly from Japan.
We don't.
So, anyway.
You really are jerking me around. Consider this a declaration of war, then.
Ian takes one step toward me and presses his lips to mine. Ian, what are you...
I want you to love me.
Ian? Right now, I can't tell you for sure that I love you. Please, just give me some more time to answer.
Or in this case, give some time to actually explore it, going, look, I don't know if I can love you, but maybe we could try taking it slow and dating for a while and see what it's like.
Right?
Is it similar enough to being friends? Could I be attracted to you if I think about it for long enough and I'm in that space going, you know what? I never had, my friend Ian and sexual attraction in the same mental space before, but if I let them sit there long enough, maybe they'll get along.
This actually kind of reminds me, at least me personally, of a really sad study that I remember they were talking about in regards to where they were like, so in terms of, basically situations of, forced homosexuality, right? When specifically we're talking about with cisgendered, male-bodied individuals.
Okay.
A lot of them basically were taught, and they were like, there is literally no reaction. The way that they are reacting to their male partners that they are having sex with, that, for, gay porn or whatever it might have been, they were almost thinking of them, the way that they could figure out how to describe it was they were thinking about them in the terms of, you're a sex toy. They weren't even a person. And it's one of those things of this such aggressive... dehumanized compartmentalization, toxic masculinity. It was so, for me, I thought it was sad. Damn.
And that's one of those things is that is sad, and that speaks to a larger issue. And since this isn't meant to be a grinding cast, I'm not going to go into it. But there is this thing of going, again, if someone declares something big to you, it doesn't have to be a yes or no, all or nothing kind of thing.
Right.
Someone can be like, I want you to love me. And you can be like, look, you are my best friend in the world. I don't know if I can do that, but we can take what would normally be the first steps of me trying to fall in love with someone or exploring love. If what I normally do is hang out with them more often, watch movies together, do dates and flowers. We could try that stuff and see if, when I have you in that mental space, if attraction develops.
Right. Well, there's also that thing that also we just mentioned anyway, of just going, you're already friends with the guy too. There is a possibility.
And going, you may not. You may find that you can't be sexually attracted to them, but you may also be like,
but also sexual attraction doesn't have to be a part of it. That's the other thing though too. It doesn't. Where some people go, you might have, Jackson might be super asexual.
He could. And you can have a
romantic... That might be why he's a dingus in some ways of just going
I don't
this
understand.
Sounds like a joke. What?
Why are you hurt? I just didn't want to have sex with you. Why is that painful? Right? Jackson could totally be ace, and he could be ace, no inclination at all, but not repulsed kind of thing. Just going, I just don't understand, but I don't want to.
Right.
Why are you trying to make me play cards all the time? I just don't want to.
They're just cards, man.
All right. I'll get going then, and I'll be looking forward to my next treatment.
Yeah. See you around.
Okay.
I watch Ian as he leaves.
Where is this game going?
I don't even know when Ian will transform next. When the time comes, will I be able to give him his treatment as usual?
Or is he going to do
now I have
something
to think
different?
about it.
All right, well, we're going to have to stop here because that's episode, I think. But thank you, really, for joining us because there's been a lot more thoughtful conversation in this particular one than any of the others. Not that they don't have it.
Wow, burn.
But I was going to say,
you.
This one sparked more topics than some of the other ones did, where some of the other ones were really just there is discomfort.
Right?
But it was lovely having you along for this.
Sometimes it helps you, of acknowledging that this isn't okay or that it is uncomfortable. You guys, I always feel like people going, if you're uncomfortable by a piece of media or entertainment, I would honestly try to figure out why.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of times where people just go, well, I just didn't like it or whatever. It's just hey, maybe that might be a good opportunity for you to discover basically what your own boundaries and what your own interests are. Of going, find out what worked for you. Find out what didn't work for you. When was it good and then when did it fall apart for you? When did you basically lose the illusion? Or what were you actually expecting or trying to get out of it to begin with? Try to figure out your own expectations kind of thing.
And going, if you suddenly just lost your suspension of disbelief, go back a tiny bit and go, when did that hit?
Right?
Anyway.
Well, hey guys, this has been Scandal, and I have a recommendation, actually, really quickly before we go. We actually just opened up our Patreon, so if you guys want to go support us, that would be awesome.
If you want more games like this, if you want the ability to just speak to us over there, like you can speak to us over here, we're not offering rewards or anything, because we're not
going to lock anything off. That feels very silly to us, to be perfectly honest.
There's not going to be any paying for our time, attention, or basically service.
Right.
It's just going to be I like what you're doing, and I'd be fine throwing a couple bucks at that.
Right. That's pretty much what we're going for. But
yep. Anyway.
So I'm Scandal.
And I'm Liz.
And it was great
playing with you. Bye!